why did I get started? I mean, basically, I feel like I just hit a huge plateau. Super honestly readopted some habits that the fix had helped me kind of boot and get rid of. And so I just thought I need to do something different. And I know it's funny, I keep record every month about how many times I work out. And September, it's like I can go from 20 times in a month to 5 times. So September is just this weird month for me. It gets really busy at my work. And so I just thought, hey, why not just not try to fight it? And obviously I'm, see this pattern of it being super busy at work. And so I might as well just concentrate on food, which I think is my trigger. I can work out. I love working out, but food continues to be a really hard thing for me. I've got a sweet tooth. I've got a salty tooth. I like food. I like it a lot. I like to drink wine. I like to be with friends. It's very social for me. But I guess just really wanting to check in and clean up and figure out what to do drew me in. So I did, I think what all of us do, we kind of go to, YouTube and watch some videos and try to see what they're saying about the program. I've done that with every Beachbody program, kind of watching the promos and the before and afters. And I just thought this is something that would fit me well. But it's basically 21 full days of clean, super clean eating. The biggest hurdle for me, Joy, was giving up coffee. And I had a migraine for probably 2 days. It was painful. I think because it was withdrawal from caffeine and it was withdrawal from sugar, because I drink my coffee with sweeteners, which are never on the fixed plan or anything like that, any Beachbody plan. And so I think my body was like, what are you doing to me? Are we going to die? Are you killing me? Or what's going on? And so I just followed suit and I went to sleep super early. I remember getting home, I think on day 3 at 4:30 and got in the bed, called my husband, and I was like, you've got to come home because I'm going to be in bed when you get home, and the kids are not playing in the street, but they need to be fed, and I'm out. But then I woke up on day 4 and felt new and better and lots of energy and, just kind of back to at least more of a normal than I had been for the first few days, because it was just a huge withdrawal from the sugar, from the snacking, from the coffee, or Diet Coke in the afternoon. All of it was just gone. And so my body just kind of had to just shut down and sleep and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to scare y'all. It wasn't bad all day, but by nighttime, I feel like I was just really, really tired and exhausted. But I'm saying that, and it's day 18 and I feel great. I'm working out. You're not supposed to work out, but I did anyway. If you're going to cheat by working out, I guess that's not a bad thing. But it really just flushes your system. Week 1, you can have meat. Week 2, you go to grains and vegetables. And week 3 is pretty much fruits and vegetables. So this has been the most intense week. And honestly, my hardest week. I've really struggled with not snacking or, sneaking in something. I think it's just mentally, I'm almost at the end. But at the same time, I'm hungry. So it's been harder. Drinking a gallon of water has been zero problem for me. I think all of us have learned when you are hydrated, you actually are thirsty and you're quenching your thirst, you're quenching what your body needs, and you're snacking less because you're just fuller with water. And then after a couple of days, I quit going to the bathroom all the time and my body started to absorb it and it's normal. And I hope to continue drinking this much water. And I do it all day long. I drink half of it, the first half of the day, and the second half, I just spread it out.
Hey, I have a quick question. A gallon of water, is it based on your weight, or was that just everybody drinks a gallon on the program?
I chose.
I haven't read through that.
No, that's a good question. It actually says, I've got my book. They give you this really cool, very, very thorough book. And they talk about, they want you to drink distilled water or unfiltered water, I think is what it's like, the baby water, stuff we all got for our kids if you did formula or whatever. And it says to drink 12 to 24 ounces, 1, 2, 3, 4 times a day when you're doing your supplements. And so if you're drinking that much, the rest of the day, that ends up being a gallon. So okay. I just said it's a gallon, and I literally have my jugs of water that I carry around with me, getting all kinds of weird looks. And, but that's fine. I'm a visual person. It's a measurement for me and all of that. Oh my gosh, I could talk all night about this. It's just been so, so good. I like literally you have a book, and in the very back, like they have, I don't know why I'm flipping the page. I don't know if you can see this, but they have a shopping list. Can you all see that? They've got a shopping list for every single week. So week 1, I took this to the store and got every single thing on it. And for this 21 days on my counter, if you're a neat freak, this isn't going to work for you, but I've got 3 kids, 9 and under, so our house is a disaster. But I've kept all of my all of my needs for my cooking on the counter. They're not even in a cabinet. They're right there. So I've got my balsamic vinaigrette. I've got everything just always out. The spices and the coriander and the olive oil, so that I'm not searching for it. And that's been a real game changer. I think that's been cool because there's no guesswork. I might not have used it before, but it's right there on my counter because I invested in it. And y'all know spices will last forever. So it's a little expensive the first week, but now I have this stuff in my cabinet that I know how to use now and understand. So they've got a shopping list for week 1, week 2, and then week 3. And week 1 by far was the biggest. And then they have every day they tell you exactly what to eat, and then they have the page number corresponding to the recipe. And the recipe is so easy. I enjoy cooking, but I don't experiment with it. I like to be told what I'm going to do, and I like the picture to look like it's going to, it's going to taste and look like I think it will. And so that's been really easy. And then you can switch back and forth. So if week 1 you loved day 2's dinner, you can make it day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you wanted, or you can switch it up every day. So if you just didn't love the taste of something, you can move on or go back to something in that week that you really liked for that same meal. So there's some flexibility there.
Have you found a recipe that you like that you didn't know about, or like a combination that surprised you?
I love beets, and I didn't think I would like beets. You have to scrub them real good because they'll taste like dirt. But they're really good because they have you make them with like a little new potato, some sweet potatoes, and a sweet onion. And they're amazing. And they do some crazy stuff because your poo is little red, purple, but it's good. But they clean you out, and they're fabulous. And I didn't know I liked beets. I'm already pretty plant strong in my cooking anyway. And so, to cook tempeh wasn't a big deal for me. Love that. I did not choose to eat the mashed chickpeas because that's like eating hummus for breakfast, and I don't love hummus. And so I have just opted for the alternate breakfast, which is 3 cups of fruit, which is a lot of fruit at once. But believe it or not, it holds me over till lunch. And I've always been a snacker. Like I've always been one of those people that like I'll eat breakfast and I'm hungry in an hour. And so it's your stomach kind of shrinks and it gets used to all this, and it does. You're using your food to its fullest benefit, which I think that's what this reset's all about. And if you're tired, you sleep. And if you want to go for a walk, you do. And you don't have to work out every day. They tell you to do yoga or easy walking. So that's been really cool. And it kind of brings up, food is an emotional thing. And so when you are absent from your coffee and your sweets, you got to deal. And it's like, well, why do I need this all the time? And why am I always so stressed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon that I feel like I have to have this Diet Coke and this, whatever the kids are eating, and you're almost ravenous, and you have to deal with, well, why? And so it's kind of a cool exercise. It's a total mind, body, spirit type thing. So to keep a journal or to keep like seeing patterns, and it's almost a lot of self-care and self-work that you can do while you're on this as well. So, and they promote that. They want that for you.
There's no Shakeology, right?
You can have Shakeology for your snack between lunch and dinner, and you can do that. They recommend you don't do it every day, and I haven't, just because I think sometimes my favorite things need a break, but I have not hesitated to have it when I have felt like I need that boost, but I haven't needed it every day. And if you do Shakeology on the 3rd week, it's only a half a scoop.
And there are supplements, like is it vitamins? Like I wasn't sure what those are.
Okay, so the supplements are kind of interesting, and they all, I'm looking in I should have marked this. This is such a big book of information, which is really cool. So they have Power Greens, which is probably what you guys have seen is the worst. My sister loves them, which tells you how different Camille and I are, which I love because we love each other, but we could not be more different, even in our taste buds. But anyway, Power Greens, it's great in a Shakeology. I did cheat a little bit and put some stevia in there every day because it's just like drinking dirt. It is, but it's supposed to be very, very good for you, they say. And all this stuff really just is just extra vitamins that will help you absorb the food and use it properly. And they actually tell you exactly what is in every one of them. I can't read it all to you guys because there's like 3 paragraphs per whatever. Like mineralize is just the salt, the sea salt that you put in your water every day. And then
so that comes with your package that you purchased.
Comes with it. And so they've got something called detox. There's something called soothe with actually, you know how yogurt has, what does yogurt have in it that helps with, it's the active.
The probiotics?
Yes, it's like a probiotic. So they have stuff like that. So, I mean, you're taking these 3 times a day. So it's a lot. And they even send you like a little pouch. And this fits in your purse. It's really small. And so it's cool. It's got these little like pouches for like every time you take a vitamin. And then I always keep a little bag of Shakeology in here. And then I've got my Power Greens all packed for tomorrow already. So it's really easy to take it with you. And then they actually even have a little guide that helps you know, like this is week 1, week 2, and then week 3. And so they have like in the morning when I wake up, I have to drink my 12 to 24 ounces and take my vitamins. And then I wait for 30 minutes and I have breakfast. And then like halfway through the morning, like 9:30 or 10, I take more vitamins, drink more water, wait 2 hours, and then have lunch. There's my Power Green one. And then this is before dinner. So they kind of tell you like when you're drinking water, when you're taking your vitamins, when to eat. And, you know, I've just set alarms on my phone just to, you know, until I got used to it. You get used to it really fast until I'm ready to go. I'm not selling this very well. I'm not trying to sell it, but I've loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it.
No, I think the 3-day refresh is very detailed and easy to follow. And it sounds like this is very similar.
It is.
For people, it's complicated and it's detailed. That's what I like about the refresh.
Exactly. I was following another coach who was doing it as well, and she was really good about doing a video diary every day. And she ended up stopping. She actually was really cool and very honest about it. And she's on some, I think, antidepressants and some medicines that there's a pretty big deal in just her function. And I think just eating less calories somehow kind of messed with her a little bit. So if you're on medication, have a client. We good with that? Okay. Sorry, it started echoing weird. If you've got a client who's on any type of medications, I be forthright in telling you that they are, but I think it's important to see a doctor or ask a doctor, can I do this? Because like the refresh, you're doing this for 21 days. The portions are huge because with vegetables, you don't have to worry as much about portions as you do. When you add dairy and meat, it's different. And this is an absence of those things, especially week 2 and week 3. And so I would just recommend anybody that is on something that needs to be taken with food probably needs to ask the physician first. So.
If, like my lunchtime is at 11:10. I do get it at 3:30. Do you just have like a certain amount of time that goes between each meal and stuff, or is there actual set time?
The set times are your set times. My biggest gap was breakfast and lunch because I wake up early, so I eat a lot earlier. And so I would do things like postponing it a little bit later, maybe in the car on the way to work, so that the gap wasn't so big between breakfast. But the only timing that you need to worry about is your supplements. And they tell you, like, when you wake up, then wait 30 minutes for breakfast. So you take a shower and you get dressed, and then suddenly it's 30 minutes later. So that kind of stuff is pretty easy, but you would be fine with 11 o'clock lunch and the 3 o'clock break. That'd be perfect for your Power Greens. And then when you got home, you would be ready for dinner.
Okay.
Are you saying power greens or power grains?
Greens.
Is that something you just put in water, Amelia, and drink, or what's the I might have missed this. What's the alkaline and the alkalis and all that stuff?
Basically just putting the sea salt into your water, and it's like 1/8 of a teaspoon. I could tell I wasn't drinking tap water. I don't know what y'all drink. So that was an immediate realization, but after a day or two, it was normal to me. I did gain weight my first week because I think my body just kind of freaked out. Like, it kept it all in, if you know what I mean. And then it was all okay. Yeah. Everything felt great.
I was going to say, I kind of am a delayed person with the 3-day refresh. Like, I see it like a day after versus day 3.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
But honestly, guys, like, I really love, I want to be a cleaner. I want to eat clean. And that's really the why behind this. I felt like I just wasn't getting the results I was looking for. I'd gotten into some bad habits again and just needed a reset. I mean, that's what this really is. So far, I've lost 6 pounds. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose, so I'm really satisfied with that. I'm actually getting back to where, you know, I was when I first started doing the 21-day fix and was really focused. You know, so for me, I didn't do it as a huge weight loss event because for me, it's just getting back to where I want to be for my journey forward. And I'll do it again. I think this would be a really cool thing to do on a regular basis. I mean, certainly not every month because I don't think that's the intention, but once a quarter or twice a year, for sure, I'll be doing this again because I think it's just been the better. And my kids are tasting some new things. And I mean, I feel like I'm beating my head against the wall with my kids and what they're eating. And it's just, I feel like it's always a battle at the dinner table. So, you know, they're eating new things and they're trying new recipes with me. Like, we got to make sushi, and that was just a fun family event. And who knew we could eat sushi on a reset? I mean, that was just a really fun thing. It was like fake sushi, but anyway, just something hands-on and fun for them was fun and good. And, you know, they're seeing me eat healthy things, even though it's maybe a little different because I've done this just for myself and shared what I had. Because, I mean, it's, you know, you're buying the portions that you need to eat. So I didn't double up much until this week. I'm doubling up this week because they're eating this way for 1 week. So.
Good. No, it sounds great. And it's just got lots of wheels turning in my head for customers who really like the refresh. And I've done it like 6 times. Like, this might be something that they're ready to move up to. Yeah. Or even for myself, because I'm like, nutrition is my battle.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know, I mean, copyright stuff, I don't want to break any rules, but I'd be happy in our coach group to send y'all some pictures of what these supplements are. I mean, I know for my sister, she's really weird about supplements and doesn't want to do it, but there's nothing in here that I wasn't able to look up to verify. I mean, you know, Shakeology isn't even really FDA approved. I mean, so we have to trust that, you know, it's right and it's good, and you should be able to look up all of that stuff. And these supplements have fallen right in line with my other crazy vegan friends who want to, you know, eat weird stuff. And so, you know, I've asked some questions and looked it up and feel very confident that I'm not putting anything new or weird in my body other than what maybe was intended to be there in the first place. And no weird, you know, it's all is better than what I was doing, if you know what I mean, those bad habits. So.
Yeah, it's so funny. I think when we are going to try things like this and be healthier and cleaner, we actually sometimes investigate that path more than the stuff we just grab at the convenience store or at the fast food. And people get like really focused, which I think is good, but then they don't focus. It's like, I don't want to investigate the bad stuff, but let me make sure all the good stuff is really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah. And you know, with the 3-day refresh, the fiber suite, on week 2, you take something like that. It tastes the exact same. I would imagine it's the same thing, just a different name, but you take that, I think, 3 times a day.
So. Okay, and then it's just week 2?
That's just week 2.
Okay.
Get to take the Power Greens every day. Like, dang it.
Now, is that the same thing that you can get for the boost in your Shakeology? It must be the same thing.
I think it's really close, but Camille says it's the same as something else, and I don't know what that is because I certainly haven't had it. And so
she does Power Greens in her Shakeology. That's why I'm wondering if it's
probably the same.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. Does anybody have any other questions for Amelia?
I was just going to ask, as far as cost of the food that you're buying, are you tracking, because I think that will be a question that we get. Like, how, I know the Reset itself is pretty expensive. It's one of the higher dollar items. So how much do you think you're spending more on food if you were to compare it to what you were buying just for yourself? Normally? No.
I honestly don't. I went to the grocery store just for this, my very first week, and it was high because I was buying, a full thing of olive oil and, all that. It's like the week that you have to buy all the, your toilet paper for your family. And it's just going to be higher when you have to buy your basics. And so the first week it was like a $200 bill, but the next week was $100 and the third week was $100. So I don't feel, and that's just to feed me. And I have had some leftovers just as I've doubled up some recipes. But I don't feel like it's totally outrageous. When I'm on the fix, I'm buying stuff for me as well. And so it has fit right into our bills.
Okay.
But you keep your book, obviously. And so if I did it again, I already have this kit. And then all I have to get is the vitamins and the supplements.
Okay.
And so if you want to do it twice a year, you're kind of investing. It's like keeping your DVDs and your containers and your water bottle. And then if you want to do, the food, it's reinvesting in the food and the vitamins. I think that would be the big kicker to say, this is a one time that you're going to want to do it again.
Right. So you don't eat out at all? Like, you can't eat out at all?
I suppose you could. We don't have any money to eat out. I think we spend all of our eating out money on groceries. We really do. Yeah. We spend a lot of money on groceries. And I have, like I said, I've got 3 kids, and I'd rather, I don't know, cut my lawn with scissors than take them out to eat.
That's how my family is too. We rarely eat out. So
yeah. But I think it would be a challenge if somebody is saying, hey, I want to do the Reset, but I travel for a living. See, do you have, is there a 3 weeks that you're going to be home? There's a lot of prep work. And just like with the fix, you got to learn. With the fix, I don't prep out for 7 days. I prep for maybe 2 or 3 days. And the same thing, like when I am, eating and hanging out with my kids, after dinner, I'll be chopping up my stuff for my breakfast so that it's in a bowl ready to take on the go the next day. I try to think ahead by every 2 days so that I'm just making things that can go a little farther. And so if somebody is traveling or having a lot of company over, I would just say maybe wait until that's over. This is a great thing to do before the holiday. Maybe not over Thanksgiving, but probably to end before Thanksgiving. That would be great.
Yeah.
And
so you do cook some hot things. It's not just all raw vegetables or.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
But it is all vegetables. Like, you don't have any protein.
Well, you can get your protein from vegetables as well. So, there is definitely, I had like chicken and tempeh in here. I'm looking at what did I eat my week 1?
Yeah, I think she said week 1 was meat. Is that what you're at?
1 is meat. And then week 2 is they get rid of the meat.
Okay.
So, and dairy.
Okay.
So like eggs for breakfast the first week. And then, your oatmeal, rice and beans, and that's a complete protein when they're put together. Tempeh. Sorry, here's my cat. Mo, I'm sorry.
Cats are so rude.
This is my kitten. Yes. And then week 2, but it's almost like your stomach just adapts to that. I don't know how to explain it, but I haven't missed it a lot.
Okay.
So.
Okay, good. Well, this is great, Amelia, because I had no idea about it. I've been meaning to research. They actually talked a lot about it at Summit in Nashville this year. Like they took time away, and talked about how they encourage coaches to do it. And there was actually a coach that was diagnosed with cancer in the midst of her ultimate reset, and that she felt like that had kind of helped her follow the clean eating that her doctors were saying she needed to do after the diagnosis. So it was kind of like, was that right, Jennifer?
Yeah, and she had an interesting story because she chose not to go the route of any kind of, what do you call them, traditional medical treatment. She did all holistic treatment, and she is cancer-free.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And she was stage 3 cancer.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Well, when Joy knew my dad, and he was best friends with Joy's father-in-law, and we watched them for a long time have a great time and eat whatever they wanted to. And my dad especially developed heart disease and eventually something called Pick's disease, which was a brain, it's like a form of dementia. And he lost his life to that almost 4 years ago. And as soon as, like that next summer, I decided to take a clean eating class at Whole Foods. And it ended up being a class about being vegan. And they talked about the healing power of food. And it's really convinced me and my husband, Jeff, to really adapt to a cleaner model of eating. And none of that stuff gets rid of being human. I mean, we're human, and everybody loves cake and everybody loves ice cream and all that kind of stuff. And I think stress is also, induces a lot of bad habits. But there's a lot of proof with people going off of high blood pressure medication, off of all kinds of stuff. And I just kept thinking and taking that class, of course, after my dad passed, that, there's a lot of stuff he could have done to reverse his heart disease that he just never chose to, but he lived with it for 20 years. And so, I mean, this type of experiment doesn't feel radical when I see how bad things could get. I don't want to be on that medication. I don't want to be that person. And if something comes along, we'll deal with it. But I just think there's too much scientific proof about what too much dairy, too much meat can do if it's eaten out of control. And so I try to balance that even with our Beachbody programs, to look for other sources of protein so that I can feed my body clean and well. I mean, Tony Horton was a vegan for a long time. I don't know if he still is, but you can be in shape. You can be super, super healthy and fit and built, with these muscles if you are eating like this. And so this type of 21-day reset for me fits my lifestyle, it fits my desires, it fits what I wanted out of it. And if anything, I just have new things to cook for my family, when I get off of it. And I think that's a good thing for our clients. We just got to be careful about, how we sell it and how we look for it, what we say about it. But I think it's a really positive thing.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you sharing it. Does anybody else have any questions for Amelia? Because I think we're all very curious and I want to give it a try. I'm going to have to look at my schedule and see what I can do.
What day are you on, Amelia?
18. I can't believe it's all over.
Wow, 18.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do on the last day?
Well, I don't know.
Do they tell you like what to do going forward? Do you reverse it or can you? Yeah,
you're supposed to back out of it. So it's almost like doing week 2 and then week 1 again.
Yeah.
Tell you not to add meat back immediately. I did go out with friends one night and, I had a glass of wine and I just enjoyed some appetizers. And the next day my stomach was like hating me. And so you have to build it back up, which says a lot about what we're putting into our body. And so I've got to figure out how to adapt to that because I want to do the fix and I want to have a little bit more energy. I want to be able to get back into my programs and everything. And I need to feed my body so that it can, build muscle. They tell you I didn't talk about this a lot. You can't work out. And it's because they want all the energy to be going to resetting your body. And so if your body is putting energy to building muscle, it can't reset. And so, I've got to figure out where can I live in the middle so that I can be plant strong and how I'm eating but also fueling enough so I can work out. But I think adding the Shakeology back in and slowly some of my more protein type of, foods in like that week 2 or week 1 might be a really good place to live for a while. And I feel like I'll be able to do that. I will not be having a cup of coffee.
Are you giving it up completely?
Why not? I don't know if I want to add it back.
I know. I've struggled.
I don't know what happened. Joy's not. That would be a miracle in itself if Joy did. But I don't you think that you could just do like I just think of the 21-day
giving it up. So, but that's great. You should.
I will.
I've been doing the Core de Force test group, and they play around a little bit with the 21-day fix. And honestly, when I do the 21-day fix, I stay in that top 10 of things listed on all the things. I don't go down to the waffles and the things that are technically, questionable. So because I did the extreme too. So I basically use the extreme plan and try to stay in the top tier. So don't you think, because I would admit my concern about doing the reset is the workouts. Like not working out for 3 weeks would be difficult for me. I've just completed 1 round of a really high intense, I feel like I've gained some muscle.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Oh, thank you. And so I think I want to do this because I'd like to share with my customers, but I would just kind of be concerned, I guess, about not working out. But you can do yoga, right?
So the 3-week yoga retreat is perfect for this.
Okay.
I love running, and so I still will go on a walk down the path and I'll jog a little bit. I'm not lifting every day, and I'm not, doing what we all love to do every day. The first week I didn't feel a whole lot like it just because my energy levels were kind of whacked out and my body was freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel super weak, but I was just trying to listen to my body. God gave us this body and our gut. And if I can have 3 babies and nurse 3 babies, then I can, listen to it when it, needs to rest, go rest. And we rarely do that as women. And so I think if anything, my cat's attacking my blinds. Sorry. But I think that we never stop. And so to figure out how, but I also feel like working out is my therapy. It's cheaper. And so I love to sweat and I love to do that because it makes me feel good about myself. And so finding that middle ground is important. But as far as building muscle or trying this Core de Force, like level 2, level 3, or however far you're going to go with that, it's not the time to do it.
Right. It may be good though in the new year because we have to do 3 rounds and then, I might be ready to kind of recuperate a little bit.
Yeah. And that's where I was at the end of summer. It's like, I need just a break so that I'm ready to hit it hard. Like I'm excited, and it's not for the same reasons as much as just to keep up my muscle tone, and which of course is all more defined because I've lost a little bit of weight. And so that's kind of nice as well, but I don't think you'll miss it. If you're just going to understand intentionally what you're doing. And so you can still move. I mean, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just life is pretty active. I'm not, sedentary, I wouldn't think, even if I wasn't working out. So
won't be. And the sleep is amazing. I have not slept this well, I don't know, ever. I mean, it's been awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm convinced that if everybody's guts were healthier, then the world would be less violent and more pleasant, because I just feel like our digestive systems are so out of whack and it makes everybody wacko.
Yeah.
I mean, and people don't realize that. I mean, they want to blame it on all these other things, but I mean, we're doing terrible things to our digestive system.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And just slowing down. I mean, I like I said, I've got a job and 3 kids, and I feel clearer. I feel more present. I feel I'm doing something for me that always makes me feel more confident. It's just, this is my thing, and I'm getting to share the good with the good. I'm just slower, and that's in a good way. I don't know, maybe phrase that, but I've liked that part.
Well, I think instead of slower, maybe just being more mindful. I like that word. Like, I'm being more. I was at a barbecue tonight and they're like, you're just starving yourself. I'm like, no, I'm just more mindful. I don't have to eat these things to, feel complete anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a mindset. They're like, well, you're just starving yourself because I wasn't eating baked beans. I'm like, baked beans, it's just like,
they're not good for you.
I'm like, those don't look natural to me and I'm not eating them,
Yeah.
But, I don't know. People are so funny. I mean,
how they say that, and then they see the salad that you brought and with just stuff, even on the fix with the chicken and all the goodies, and you're like, I am not starving myself. Like, eat this and you tell me if you're hungry. It's not that at all.
Yeah.
I think that's funny. Well, hang in there.
Well, I just laugh now. Like, I don't care because I'm like, I'm going to feel so much better than you, than you are later, and I don't say that, but I just think, I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one thing I'm learning through this. It's just a cheat. If I'm cheating, it's one thing. But honestly, if I'm cheating every single day, and most of us are cheating more than once a day, you got a problem. And it's not, and it's almost like this addiction to the feeling that you think food is giving you, and it may for a minute. And so that's what I'm really learning. It's like, why do I feel like I have to do this? And I'm not over it. I don't have the answers, but I'm glad that I'm at least recognizing it more, because usually I'm like, well, screw it. I'll just have, a whole nother bowl of chips. And, that's not helping anybody.
Right.
So we've got to figure that stuff out. And, with my own success, with our challenge groups, it's like, what are we really doing? If you're not losing the weight, if you're not getting to your point, why not? What's really going on? And I think when people are honest, they start recognizing you're not changing some of the habits that really need to be addressed.
Right.
Which is a part of the problem of why we are fighting this epidemic in our world and our country specifically. And it is. I mean, it's really sad. So I'm determined to figure it out for myself and hopefully for my family. And that's my goal.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Because we want it so bad for other people. Like, I wish I could want it as much as, I want them to want it as much as I want it for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's hard. It is hard. And I think we just avoid hard at all costs and stick with our regular, comfortable hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This has been very informative.
Well, I hope so. And just speaking from my experience, I know it's not been a perfect experience. I will do it again. And if I do it, I will share the love and maybe ask people to join me. And, it'll make you proud, just like finishing any of our programs. It's like, I did that. So it's a good thing. So I hope y'all try it out sometime. Maybe in the new year. Maybe that is a good idea.
And definitely share your results in the team when you're done.
Okay, I will.
No. Okay.
Joy, will you take a picture? Can you take a picture? Because my phone is not down.
Hold on. Let me grab my phone. Sorry.
And I don't know how to take a picture. Okay, I'm going to stop recording. Everybody say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye. Oh, I was recorded?